Yeah, they had a bullet that was so tiny and fast that was way to bio sabotage, especially that got from cause hundreds of millions of dollars for like different corporate group, and then put them out on the streets in debt because they had no more money and the debtors were coming in really fast since how they're doing on warfare. So they sabotaged the backline economically and some of the research with small bios destruction, a very silent martial art with a small string that go off and move at the speed of light from one nation to the next underneath in less than 1 minute. That's all. It's like lasers flying around, especially. And that was the unique martial art that they had developed to go off and like beat up the crap or like some of the bigger dudes around the space and move faster than them and like freeze time around the space, freeze them, shock them. All of a sudden they think that they could sit on top of the space and go off and like be at the casino with their quads. They shocked them by somewhat sabotaging the entire space. Yeah, froze the entire thing, we lagged it behind down to like even swapping the chemicals inside the drugs and all that stuff on top. And eventually, yeah, it took like people like special microscope on Google's that work inside the bio system within some of the unique lab like Symatech, other groups like that were into like cyber security system to go off and like fight rootkits, other systems around, especially and that group itself will make it back inside my chemistry labs or my my chemical warfare group over here that go off and like develop cyber system because of the fact that my chemical warfare group over here deal with microscope that go off and create synthetic circuits like central processing units with wafers on, especially to go off and design their own computer program for their own machines to go off and run their own operating system for like their own guided missile system or their own computational network on, especially. So in there they had a security layout that's proficient that was not getting touched by like the other groups on, especially because the security layout itself is already related to a group that go off and remove a certain thing that you call no drug use on, especially. And then they use military men to go off and be part of the facility within the nuclear system over Mossad. And then in there, that's where they bring certain civilians and others within that special to go off and develop future prototype of future technology that detects testing in real time with like big resources like the space station or the systems in there. And then I come back as a feedback within a properness of being clean that go off and maintain that security layout and that buffer itself. And then the other group itself cannot penetrate to them unless they could go off and send a military person in there to go off and be in that system itself. So, as I said, by the end of the day, I'd rather be the old 50 or 45 year old uncle that's sitting on top of the skyscraper. Yeah, I'll go off and be one of the high flying dragons into my offense specialty. And I have my own unique martial art that's with a unique transducer system over there that detect things from a distance. I see everything on the space to go off. I even have a force field system, a counter system. So I chose my domain or my territory, which is related to like infantry, foot soldiers on the ground to then go off and master that field and make sure that I can never have a Russian soldier creep up on me while I'm dug into the trenches and I'm stupid in there. They cannot send me one of these jacked up bad dudes over there that's moving real fast with their, like the fast response team over there, the shock troop over there move real fast with like the machines on the bikes to then go off and get me in my sleep over there and then kill me in my trench. That's why I developed the ring doorbell. That's just an example. The system to go off and automatically take care of that. And like I create a field of laser that just like go off and cut them apart instantaneously on, especially. I said I don't got time for that. I told you bring out the machine and let the machine go off and fight some of these humans around, especially. And eventually that was my proficiency as a martial artist on the highest level, to never have to like lose in combat while I'm on foot into more often, especially. As long as I'm on foot and I'm going on another foot soldier on, especially, I always dominate because of the fact that I'm proficient within the mindset and the instinct of that combat awareness with that machine system, and eventually these events electromagnetic system, even quantum system, to often make sure that another man can never go off and like pull out a gun on me and shoot me in my face and then win that fight into my offense. If you can do that, then I mean you can go off and train a child to go off and do the same. So that means I was not proficient as an adult to go off and survive into this world itself. Yeah, so luckily for me, I had the adaptation and the evolution to know about machine systems and computer programs to then go off and make sure that I can integrate that into my infantry efficiency, my arm-to-arm combat into my offense specialty. And then by the time they were done with them, I gave them bots to go off and fight facilities where I pull out the software or like SynX or Auto-M system. I'm like the hack dude. Yeah, that come too. I use the debugger to go off and like somewhat trick with the memory system. From outside that system itself to then go off and force the program to go off and like somewhat bend the rules for me and then give me admin console and then go off and scan the entire map for all the players on, especially, and then move on by my first one. I said again, I didn't ask to be that guy over here. I was like a foot soldier and then go off and master the field of infantry on the highest level into motherfucking special. So, yeah, it's just such a sad tale that a couple set up inside the United States that are like anti-patriotic. Yeah, decide to work with a group of like compromised United States Navy sailors and Air Force ones that got caught inside a pedophilic domain that they call 6764. Yeah, and the Gorsex on the spaces up, who also went on to like go overseas to engage into child sex activity with both boys and like girls around the space here to go off like somewhat leech off of me, spy on me continuously over time with the heavy federal resource to then go off and leak off my Wu-Tang style type of like martial art that's unique, that I kept hidden for 5 years because of the fact that continuously over time this group will go off and be like, yo, fuck it. Yeah, go off and like fucking, yeah, take this over here, and then go off and like fucking try to see if we could go off and feed this military in the southern border of the United States, and they use that over here, and why we go off and tell his superior over there that he's talking on his phone, and then somewhere he's leaking off national security secrets on the space, and then go off and see if we use that technology to blow up a border on the fucking space. And that comes from right inside Senate, that's right in front of the government system, right inside their own presidential cabinet into motherfucking especially all the way up to the vice president that Biden had in the last time into motherfucking special outside. And that's come from the own group on the special outside. That's why I told you that you revise the boy, and in the boy you're going to see where the current politicians are at. You seen that scene over here when you have that chick over here that blew up everybody's head? And then on the other hand, you have what's his name over here, ripping the chick over there and like beating her up and like go out like be a psychopath or something. That's pretty much your current government into motherfucking special outside.